Right guys, Gaffed is back with the explanation and build tutorial to improved Zig Zag card. At last, yeah, right then. First thing, hazelnuts. The restickable glue spray is this can. It's a 3M spray mount. They use this for sticking on the back of photos. It's a photo mount spray. The benefits of this are it's pretty much invisible on the cards. The only downside is once it's on the cards it's not coming off. Like double stick tape, you can pull the tape off. This stuff, once it's on the cards, it's on there, and if it gets dirty it shows up and you have to get rid of the card. But it's got its advantages and disadvantages. But this is the stuff, 3M photo mount spray. The can itself, this was about a tenner. It's quite expensive, but it works great when you need it. Right, the improved Zig Zag card. You're going to need general glues, tape, scissors, and you're going to need a couple of duplicate cards. Now I'm going to make this out of my Waddingtons because I just like these cards. So you need two of the same and then any random card, and then maybe a couple for spare bits. You're going to start out by getting your chopping block. Move me sellotape. Oh, knife, sorry. 2 seconds, I've got a knife somewhere. And I know this is my good knife because I wrote new on it. You're going to start out by cutting this 5, not quite in half, a little less than half, something. So that's not quite halfway, so I'm going to cut that right down there. You can discard this piece for a minute. But then you are going to trim off a piece off the top, just a tiny bit. That's probably, I'd say maybe 5mm, something like that. Trim that bit off. And then you're going to do the same on the bottom, about the same, about 5mm. Now I've got a bit of tape there, get rid of that. That's about 5mm. Keep these two pieces you've just trimmed off, because what you are going to do, you're going to stick this onto the indifferent card. You are going to stick that on the top. Get rid of that. You're going to stick that on the top here, just up there, so you get some good old glue stick. And you'll stick this piece just on the top of the card. Make sure it's perfectly lined up. And it looks like one card from both sides. Then you're going to put your 5 back in here. And you are going to stick the other piece you cut off just down here. So we get some glue stick on that. It's not a hard build. And this piece will get stuck here. Make sure it looks like one card. What that's going to allow your card to do is move like this. So we're just going to, what you probably need to do is just spend a little bit more time over it than me. Why isn't that glue sticking? Right, get rid of, oh, what's going on here? Stick to there. So that this piece, this 5 will fit in there and it will slide, so that needs to be pushed up a bit. So that 5 will slide nice and freely through there. What you are going to do then is get another random card, and you're going to cut a little bit bigger than this piece. So if that's about 5mm, doesn't have to be a great deal bigger, just a little bit bigger, maybe about 8mm, something like that. Cut a piece off there, And what you're going to do, you're going to stick this over the top of that so it holds this card in place. So you just want a bit on this top edge. So I can just rub a bit on here. Like I say in all my build videos, guys, take your time. So you're going to stick that over there. Make sure it looks like one card from this side. So it will basically hold this piece in place. And then you're going to do the same for the bottom. So you'll cut a bigger piece off here, just about 8mm. And once again, you're just going to stick the glue along this bottom edge. So I roughly know if I just stick it down half of that. And once again, you'll stick this over that piece. Just like that. So this 5 should hopefully slide through here, but that bit will hold it so it won't fall out of place. Right, when you've done that, you are going to cut down this line. So that piece you've built, that gimmick you've built, you're going to cut this out now. Now in the real world, I would give it a bit of time for the glue to go off. So this piece here is pretty much your gimmick. It will slide through there. So we're just going to leave that aside for a minute to let the glue set. And then you're going to get, it's not on this 5, is it? No, you keep that 5. Your indifferent card, which this is going to be my indifferent card, you're going to cut a hole in it. But when you cut the hole, bearing in mind if this is a bicycle card, the hole's going to have to be on this side because you've only got the pips on this side on bicycle cards. These cards, you've got pips both sides, so I'm going to put the hole here. But you want to make sure that your hole starts below this point. So that's going to be around that way, so I need to measure that. So yeah, that's about 9mm. So I need to come down the card about 10mm before I start making a hole, which is roughly there. So I'm going to do this freehand. So I'm going to cut a hole out on that line there. Doesn't have to be a massive hole, but you'll get the idea. So I'll cut, say, 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. This hole might not be big enough in all honesty, but you will get the general idea. So now when that is behind there, oh that's it, you cannot see that bit of the gimmick look. So that is basically going to sit behind that card like that. What you're going to do now is get all that squared up perfectly. I can probably get rid of this chopping block now so you can see it a bit better. And all you're going to do is tape. You're going to get that perfectly squared up so it looks like one card from this side, and you're going to stick some tape down this edge. So we'll get some tape, put it down there, place this over here so it's perfectly squared up and lined up, it looks like one card from this side, and put your tape down. So what you've got, you should have a hinge like this. So that will flap over like that. So you'll be able to pull out this piece, that piece of the 5 luck. So that is your gimmick pretty much done already. It's going to fold over like this, and you're going to be in this position, and you're going to slide this card out. But what I found on the video, this wasn't springing back well enough. It might work on this one, because when you're in this position, when you drop it, there was a bit of, did you see that swinging then? Let me show you if I do it this way around. When you just drop the card, that bit was swinging like that. I didn't want it to swing like that. So I did cheat a little bit, and I got a bit of, let me flick that over. I used a little piece of the invisible elastic thread. Only a tiny bit. Now this is not necessary. You could probably work it out without this thread, but it just made it easier for me. So all I'm going to do is stick a little bit of thread there. Just sellotape that on top of there, like that. And then I'm going to stretch this down, and I'm going to stick this down here, so it's going to want to pull this closed like that a bit. That stops that swinging. Now this is probably only going to work in a video format. It might not work in the real world. Doing this live might not work. So I'm going to stretch that thread down and stick it down. Cut off the excess and get to it. So now when I drop that, it will just, it won't have this, oh, it still has got the swing. Oh, is that because my tape's come apart? Oh, that's no good. Oh, it slid up the sellotape. Sellotape wasn't strong enough. Oh, I've completely pulled it out. Oh, come on, gaffer. Try again. But you guys know how I roll. It's all a bit hit and miss, in it. So we'll stick that there. Make sure that sticks this time. Get another bit of tape. And we'll stretch this down a bit. In fact, we'll fold that over, stick a little bit on there. Now we'll cut that off. Right, that's better. I might stick another bit of tape there. So hopefully that won't swing now. When it pops open, it doesn't swing back up. So that is pretty much the gimmick. So how you're going to present this, you might want to put a bit of tape on this side in all honesty, but I wouldn't use a lot, just so it keeps it square. Put a bit there, because you don't want these sides to open up. That's it. Right, that's pretty much it. Didn't take long, did it? So how I presented the trick was I showed you a card. Now be careful, that's sliding in there, that's a bit loose. But you can show the card, and you can show the fact that this card has a hole in it. You can't obviously show this side because you've got a great big gimmick on the back. But you can show there's a hole in the card. Now what I would do is change your grip, bearing in mind not to let this flash in the camera, and then show them this card. And the way you're going to load the gimmick is you're going to slide this underneath, and as you do it quickly, plus you've got a bit of cover from your hands, they will assume this is the 5 you've just put under there. And then you can do your sort of scoring magic and just hold these cards, and you should be able to slide this 5 right out. So you can see it's been split, and then you're just going to slowly push it all the way back in, square everything up, and then you could just drop this and then show that this card is in fact restored. So that is the gimmick, guys. Like I say, you don't necessarily need this elastic thread, but I just found this was swinging a little bit like this. I suppose if you alter your angles, and it might have been better with the hole on this side, but you can show you've got 2 cards. You've got a 5 of spades and you've got a card with a hole. You'll just take your grip like this, And then you, as you come in under like this and do it quickly, they will never notice the fact that you've just moved the gimmick up like this into position. They will assume that is still the same card. And then you can proceed to, oh, why isn't that moving there? That's it. You can proceed to pull out your gimmick. Show that you've split the 5. Push it all the way back in. Drop this card down. Show this card. All the heat should be on this. And it is restored. So that's it. This is a proper gaffer build video. It's not a hard build. Like I say, this is probably going to be a video magic trick. Whether you would get away with all this gubbins in the real world, you might do. But it works great on video because I got most of you guys with it. So comment, subscribe, like, guys. That is the card warp Zig Zag card, and this is the photo mount 3M spray, the restickable spray glue. Comment, subscribe, like, guys, for more reveals. Cheers.